I saw behavior and engagement with very young junior female staffers from the former president that made me uncomfortable. It was an open secret, open discussion in the West Wing.
Donald Trump's ex-director of strategic communications, Alyssa Farah, goes on this podcast, The New Abnormal, to talk about the sexual harassment she witnessed firsthand as she was working for Trump's administration. I really love finding out about these things after the fact, way later after the fact. But everyone seems to be going after Trump now, especially after he was, he basically was found to have committed sexual battery and defamation toward E. Jean Carroll. And it's interesting that now all of a sudden, all these women are coming out to say that he would sexually harass people within the White House. Now, I do want to go to a few more details according to Farah, so let's listen.
I took it to my direct report, which was the then chief of staff, Mark Meadows. Another individual was present for it and raised it. And he seemed very aware of the issue and said he was going to handle it. Now, to my knowledge, nothing was ever done. I can't say that definitively. And then I learned after the fact that Stephanie Grisham, who's now a dear friend of mine, but we actually were not at all on the same team, I'll put it that way, when we were in the West Wing, during her tenure had exactly the same concerns and had raised it as well. So it's a pattern. It was visible. It didn't take a genius to see it. It was reported. I don't know if it was handled.
So Grisham did put out some allegations in her book in 2021, because that's what they do. They save the dirt for their book to increase the sales of their books. But nonetheless, in her 2021 book titled, I'll Take Your Questions Now, real funny because she refused to do press conferences when she was the White House press secretary, Grisham wrote that he would ask for the staffer to be brought to his office cabin on his plane during trips. Something he'd rarely done with anyone else. When Grisham couldn't find an excuse to not send the staffer, he would accompany her and stay with the younger woman the entire time. On one particular trip, Grisham got a call afterward relaying that the president said, quote, let's bring her up here to look at her ass. She wrote that after the incident, she tried to keep the staffer off of trips. So the staffer has not been named. However, according to Newsweek, this person denied the accusations, the staffer in question. None of what is being insinuated or alleged is even remotely true, she said over text messages. Cenk.
Yeah, and then others explain, yeah, he would say that stuff after you left a room. Okay, so now I want to double down on what Anna's saying. So I have no sympathy for the Alyssa Farah Griffins and the Stephanie Grishams of the world.
Totally.
They're despicable in every way. They all act surprised. The guy said on tape, I grab women by the genitals and there's nothing they could do about it. You didn't know that Trump was going to be a monster? You didn't know that Trump might sexually harass people? That came as a giant surprise to you? No, you went there looking for fame and glory and to put other people down, but then you were surprised that he might do it to you or to people around you, because that's the conservative mindset. I don't mind if it happens to other people. Well, wait a minute, if it happens to me, I'm really bothered. By the way, were you even at that point? Because none of them came out before the election. They all knew all these terrible things before the election, but they're like, but hey, if he wins, we want to continue working for him.
Exactly.
And we want to continue to have power and fame in that direction. But if he loses, we'll use the dirt we have on him, not to protect anyone, but to make sure that we can get a job in mainstream media when we pretend to be good guys. No cookies for you. You're all terrible people, every one of you. Now, is Trump a sexual harasser like this? Of course, anyone that's ever seen Trump.
He brags about it on national television. Come on, guys.
Oh, he's into young, attractive women and he lurks around them and forces them to come and hang out with him and checks out their body. Wow, what a big surprise.
Another person who's speaking out about the sexual harassment of staffers within the Trump administration is Olivia Troye, who is an ex-Pence aide. So she says, quote, "He did it openly and made the comments openly, even in meetings. This behavior was a known thing across many senior staff. And people from the current Trump camp are, of course, calling these claims lies. But like, why do they even bother? Why do they even bother pretending like these are lies? It's so obvious. The second you say, no, it's not true, these are just lies, Trump puts his foot in his mouth again publicly by saying terrible things about women, which makes it abundantly clear to me that he does not respect women in the workplace, in the White House, wherever he is, wherever they are.
Of course.
I mean, come on.
But guys, the second reason why denying it is pointless is because the Republican voters don't mind at all.
They really don't care.
They're like, oh, he was checking out her ass, and if he could, he'd try to sleep with her inappropriately, even though he's like 50 years older, and it's in the workplace, and he's the president, and she works for. You think the right-wing voters care? Find me one that does. Maybe you could find 1 or 2 or 7, but that's about all you're gonna find, okay? I mean, you saw that town hall. If they accused him of this, the crowd would have given him a standing ovation. So just please stop, okay? Everybody knows he does this stuff.
And I'm gonna leave you with one final, just gratuitous statement from the Trump camp, okay? These unscrupulous individuals should be ashamed of themselves for peddling fake news.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of spending time concocting conspiracy theories at the Bombay Club, they should focus their energy elsewhere. And that's from a Trump spokesperson named Steven. Thanks, Steve. Thanks for the comment.
By the way, if Trump does win, or just on his campaign, if you're a woman there and you're young and attractive, don't get all surprised later, like, oh, it turns out this guy who keeps bragging about grabbing women and wanting to sexually abuse them, he did it to me. Look, I don't want him doing it to anyone else, and I hope that never happens to anyone ever again, right? But stop working for him. He's an obvious monster.
When people tell you who they are, you should believe them.
Yep.
And Trump tells us every day, he can't help himself.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.